Success isn't something that happens to you. It's something you create, step by step, decision by decision. And today, we're diving deep into one of the most transformative guides ever written about achieving your dreams. The key to success isn't just another self-help book. It's a complete blueprint for transforming your life from ordinary to extraordinary. This book has changed countless lives, and by the end of this summary, you'll understand exactly why it continues to inspire generations of achievers, dreamers, and go-getters who refuse to settle for mediocrity. Let's begin with the fundamental premise that makes this book so powerful. The author opens with a striking observation. Success is not a matter of luck, talent, or circumstances. It's a matter of understanding specific principles and applying them consistently. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack knowledge of these principles. Think about that for a moment. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't as vast as you might think. It's simply a matter of understanding and applying the right concepts. The first major principle the book explores is the power of definite purpose. You cannot hit a target you cannot see. You cannot reach a destination you haven't identified. The author emphasizes that the vast majority of people drift through life without any clear sense of direction. They wake up, go through their routines, and hope that somehow things will improve. But hope without direction is just wishful thinking. The book challenges you to get crystal clear on what you want. Not vague wishes like, I want to be happy or I want to be successful, but specific, measurable, concrete goals that you can visualize and work toward every single day. What makes a definite purpose so powerful? The author explains that when you have absolute clarity about your destination, your mind begins working subconsciously to help you get there. You start noticing opportunities you previously overlooked. You make different decisions. You prioritize differently. Your entire psychology shifts from passive to active, from reactive to proactive. This isn't mystical thinking, it's practical psychology. Your reticular activating system, that part of your brain that filters information, begins highlighting everything relevant to your goal while filtering out the noise and distractions that don't serve you. The book provides a practical exercise for developing your definite purpose. First, write down exactly what you want to achieve. Be specific. Instead of I want to be wealthy, write, I want to earn $300,000 annually within 5 years through my consulting business. Instead of I want to be healthy, write, I want to weigh 170 pounds with 15% body fat and complete a marathon by the next December. See the difference? Specificity creates power. Vagueness creates confusion. Second, write down why you want this goal. Your reasons are your fuel. When obstacles appear, and they will, your reasons will keep you moving forward. If your reasons are strong enough, you'll find the how. If your reasons are weak, you'll find excuses. The author shares numerous examples of individuals who achieved seemingly impossible goals simply because their why was powerful enough to overcome any obstacle. Third, write down what you're willing to give in exchange for achieving this goal. Success isn't free. You'll need to invest time, energy, money, and effort. You'll need to sacrifice certain comforts, certain habits, certain relationships that don't serve your growth. The book doesn't sugarcoat this reality. Achievement requires exchange. You cannot keep doing what you've always done and expect different results. You must be willing to pay the price, and you must decide that price in advance so you're not surprised when it comes due. Moving into the second major principle, The book explores the concept of organized planning. A goal without a plan is just a wish. The author emphasizes that you need a detailed written plan of action. This plan should outline the specific steps you'll take, the timeline for each step, the resources you'll need, and the potential obstacles you might face, along with strategies to overcome them. Most people fail at this stage because planning requires effort and discipline. It's easier to stay in the dreaming phase where everything feels possible and nothing requires actual work. The book recommends breaking your major goal into smaller milestones. If you want to build a $1 million business, what are the stepping stones? Perhaps first, you need to develop a marketable skill. Then you need to acquire your first client. Then you need to systematize your process. Then you need to hire help. Then you need to scale your marketing. Each of these milestones becomes its own mini-goal with its own action plan. This approach prevents overwhelm and creates momentum. Small wins compound into massive success. Here's where the book gets really practical. The author discusses the importance of daily action. Your plan means nothing if you don't execute it consistently. Success is built through daily disciplines, not occasional heroic efforts. The person who writes 500 words every single day for a year will produce a book. The person who waits for inspiration to write 5,000 words will likely produce nothing. Consistency beats intensity every single time. The third principle centers on the power of the mastermind. No one achieves significant success alone. The book emphasizes surrounding yourself with people who challenge you, support you, and elevate you. Your mastermind group should consist of individuals who have skills, knowledge, or resources you lack. Together, you create something greater than the sum of your individual capabilities. The author provides historical examples, from Andrew Carnegie's team of advisors to Thomas Edison's laboratory staff, demonstrating that behind every great achiever is a network of talented, committed individuals working toward a common vision. But here's the critical point the book makes about masterminds. They must be carefully chosen. One negative person can poison an entire group. One person who consistently makes excuses can give everyone else permission to do the same. Your mastermind must consist of positive, action-oriented individuals who are committed to growth. The author suggests being extremely selective about who you allow into your inner circle, because these people will inevitably influence your thinking, your standards, and your results. The book also addresses the flip side of this principle. You must distance yourself from negative influences. This doesn't mean being cruel or superior. It simply means being protective of your mental environment. If you spend time with people who complain constantly, who criticize others' success, who settle for mediocrity, their attitudes will seep into your consciousness. You'll begin adopting their limiting beliefs without even realizing it. The author is blunt about this. You cannot soar with eagles if you spend your time with turkeys. The fourth major principle explores the role of faith and belief. This might be the most important concept in the entire book. You must believe in your ability to achieve your goals before you see any evidence of success. This is counterintuitive because most people think they'll believe when they see results. But the author flips this script entirely. You must believe first, then you'll see results. Your belief creates the actions, the persistence, and the resilience necessary to push through obstacles. Without belief, you'll quit at the first sign of difficulty. How do you develop this kind of unshakable faith? The book offers several strategies. First, study the lives of successful people. Read biographies. Listen to interviews. Understand that every person who achieved something significant started with nothing but an idea and a belief. If they could do it, so can you. You're not fundamentally different from anyone else who has succeeded. You have the same mental equipment, the same potential, the same 24 hours in a day. Second, use auto-suggestion. This is the practice of repeatedly affirming your goals and capabilities to yourself. The author explains that your subconscious mind accepts whatever you consistently tell it. If you repeatedly say, "I'm not good at this," or "I always fail," your subconscious accepts these statements as truth and ensures they become your reality. But if you consistently affirm, "I am capable," "I am learning and improving," "I am destined for success," your subconscious works to make these statements true. This isn't positive thinking fluff. This is reprogramming your mental operating system. The book recommends creating a detailed written statement describing your major goal as if you've already achieved it. Read this statement aloud twice daily, once in the morning and once before bed. As you read it, visualize yourself already in possession of your goal. Feel the emotions you'll feel when you achieve it. This practice does two things. First, it keeps your goal at the forefront of your consciousness, so you're constantly aware of it. Second, it begins to close the psychological gap between where you are and where you want to be, making the journey feel more achievable. The fifth principle addresses the importance of specialized knowledge. General knowledge alone won't make you successful. You need deep, specific expertise in your chosen field. The author emphasizes that in today's world, specialists are valued far more than generalists. The person who knows a little about everything but nothing in depth will always struggle, but the person who becomes truly excellent at one valuable skill can write their own ticket. Here's what's liberating about this principle. You don't need to know everything. You just need to know where to find information and how to organize it for practical use. The book encourages continuous learning, but focused learning. Don't scatter your efforts trying to master a dozen different fields. Pick one area that aligns with your definite purpose and become exceptional at it. Read the books, take the courses, find the mentors, practice deliberately, and commit to mastery. The author also makes an important distinction between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is information. Wisdom is the ability to apply that information effectively. You can read 100 books on business, but if you never start a business, all that knowledge is useless. The book pushes you to be a practitioner, not just a student. Learn something, then immediately apply it. Test it, refine it, make it work in the real world. This creates exponentially faster growth than passive learning ever could. The sixth principle focuses on imagination. This is your workshop for creating the future. Everything that exists was once imagined by someone. The chair you're sitting on, the device you're using, the building you're in, all of it started as an idea in someone's imagination. The author explains that imagination comes in two forms: synthetic imagination and creative imagination. Synthetic imagination takes existing concepts and combines them in new ways. Creative imagination taps into infinite intelligence and produces truly original ideas. Most people severely underutilize their imagination. They accept the status quo and never question whether things could be different, better, more efficient, more beautiful. The book challenges you to spend time daily in imaginative thinking. Ask yourself, what if? What if you could solve this problem? What if you could serve your customers better? What if you could double your income? What if you could eliminate this obstacle? Don't immediately dismiss ideas as impossible. Let your imagination run wild, then use your analytical mind to refine the ideas that have merit. The author shares a powerful exercise. Every night before sleep, present your subconscious mind with a question or challenge related to your goals. Then let it go and sleep. Often, you'll wake up with insights, solutions, or ideas you didn't have before. Your subconscious mind works on problems continuously, even when you're not consciously thinking about them. By deliberately programming it with questions, you harness this incredible resource. The seventh principle examines organized planning in greater detail, specifically focusing on how to create and lead effective organizations. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or managing a department, certain principles govern success. The book outlines the qualities of effective leadership, including decisiveness, self-confidence, fairness, sympathy with followers, mastery of detail, willingness to assume responsibility, and cooperation. Leadership isn't about dominating others, it's about inspiring them to work toward a common vision. The author identifies several major causes of failure in leadership. First, inability to organize details. A leader must understand every aspect of their business or project. You don't need to do everything yourself, but you must understand how everything works. Second, unwillingness to render humble service. True leaders serve their teams, not the other way around. Third, expectation of pay for what they know instead of what they do. Knowledge has no value until it's applied and produces results. Fourth, fear of competition from followers. Insecure leaders suppress talented team members. Confident leaders develop them. The book emphasizes that if you want to lead others, you must first learn to lead yourself. Self-leadership means having the discipline to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. It means keeping commitments to yourself. It means maintaining high standards even when no one is watching. People won't follow someone who can't manage their own life, but they'll enthusiastically follow someone who demonstrates consistent excellence and integrity. The eighth principle is one that many people resist: the necessity of decision. The book reveals that successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly, if at all. Unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them frequently. Indecision is a habit that must be broken. Every time you fail to make a decision, you're training yourself to be indecisive. Every time you make a decision and stick with it, you're building your decision-making muscles. Why is decision-making so critical? Because progress requires choosing a direction and committing to it. When you're indecisive, you stay stuck in analysis paralysis. You gather more information, seek more opinions, consider more options, but you never move forward. Meanwhile, someone less qualified but more decisive passes you by because they took action while you were still thinking. The author warns against seeking too many opinions. When you share your goals and plans with too many people, you dilute your conviction. People will offer discouraging advice, often disguised as concern. They'll point out all the reasons your plan won't work. They'll share stories of others who failed. Unless someone has actually achieved what you're attempting, their opinion is just speculation based on their own limitations. The book recommends sharing your definite purpose only with members of your mastermind group who are supportive and constructive. The ninth principle addresses persistence, which the author calls the sustained effort necessary to induce faith. Persistence is the quality that separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up just before breakthrough. Most people quit too soon. They try something for a few weeks or months, don't see immediate results, and conclude it doesn't work. But success often requires years of sustained effort before visible results appear. The book shares powerful examples of persistence. Thomas Edison conducted 10,000 experiments before successfully creating the light bulb. When asked how it felt to fail 10,000 times, he replied that he hadn't failed. He'd successfully identified 10,000 ways that didn't work. Henry Ford went broke 5 times before building the successful Ford Motor Company. Colonel Sanders was rejected over 1,000 times before someone agreed to use his chicken recipe. These individuals succeeded because they simply refused to quit. How do you develop persistence? The author identifies 4 steps. First, have a definite purpose backed by burning desire. If you don't want it badly enough, you won't persist through difficulties. Second, create a definite plan and execute it consistently. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Act regardless of how you feel. Third, maintain a mind closed to negative and discouraging influences. Protect your mental environment ruthlessly. Fourth, surround yourself with people who encourage you to persist. The book also identifies the symptoms of lack of persistence, including failure to recognize opportunity, procrastination, lack of interest in acquiring specialized knowledge, indecision, the habit of making excuses, and self-satisfaction. If you recognize these patterns in yourself, you must consciously work to overcome them. Persistence is a habit that can be developed through practice and repetition. The 10th principle explores the power of the subconscious mind. Your subconscious is like a garden that will grow whatever seeds you plant, whether they're seeds of success or seeds of failure. Most people plant negative seeds through worry, fear, doubt, and anxiety, then wonder why their lives don't improve. The book teaches you to deliberately plant positive seeds through faith, desire, and definiteness of purpose. The subconscious mind works continuously, processing information and influencing your behavior even when you're not consciously aware of it. It doesn't distinguish between constructive and destructive thoughts. It simply responds to whatever you feed it. This is why the auto-suggestion technique discussed earlier is so powerful. By repeatedly feeding your subconscious mind positive affirmations aligned with your goals, you program it to help you achieve those goals. The author explains that your subconscious mind is influenced primarily by emotionalized thoughts. Simple intellectual acknowledgement isn't enough. You must attach strong emotion to your desires and affirmations. This is why visualization is effective. When you visualize your goals, you generate emotional excitement. When you read your definite purpose statement with feeling, you're not just reciting words, you're programming your subconscious with emotionally charged instructions. The 11th principle examines the brain as a broadcasting and receiving station. This is where the book enters territory that might seem esoteric, but stay with it, because the implications are profound. The author suggests that your thoughts broadcast at frequencies that can be picked up by other minds, and that you can similarly receive thought frequencies from others. This might explain phenomena like intuition, hunches, and the ability to sense what others are thinking or feeling. Whether you accept the literal interpretation of this principle or view it metaphorically, the practical application is valuable. When you maintain positive, success-focused thoughts, you attract positive people and circumstances. When you maintain negative, failure-focused thoughts, you attract negative people and circumstances. Like attracts like. Your mental state influences not just your direct actions, but also the opportunities and relationships that come into your life. The book recommends practicing what might be called mental broadcasting. When you need help, guidance, or opportunities, clearly formulate what you need in your mind. Visualize it. Believe that the solution will come. Then stay alert and receptive. Often, you'll find that the exact person, information, or opportunity you need appears seemingly by coincidence. The author suggests these aren't coincidences at all, but rather the result of your focused mental energy attracting what you need. The 12th principle addresses the sixth sense, what the author describes as the door to infinite intelligence. This is the apex of the philosophy presented in the book. After you've mastered all the other principles, after you've developed your definite purpose, strengthened your faith, built your mastermind, and persisted through obstacles, you may begin to experience flashes of insight that seem to come from beyond your conscious mind. These might manifest as hunches, creative ideas, warnings of danger, or sudden solutions to complex problems. The author describes this sixth sense as a subtle faculty that most people never develop because they don't believe it exists, but those who do develop it gain access to knowledge and guidance that seems almost miraculous. This doesn't require any mystical practices. It simply requires an open mind, regular meditation, or quiet reflection, and trust in your inner guidance. When you feel a strong, intuitive pull toward a certain decision or action, the book encourages you to follow it, even if you can't logically explain why. Throughout the book, the author returns repeatedly to one central theme: thoughts are things. Your thoughts have creative power. They shape your character, your circumstances, and your destiny. This isn't metaphorical language, it's meant literally. Everything you see in the physical world, every achievement, every invention, every work of art, first existed as a thought in someone's mind. By controlling your thoughts, you control your reality. This principle places enormous responsibility on you, but it's also profoundly empowering. It means you're not at the mercy of fate, luck, or circumstances. You have the power to create the life you want through directed thinking and persistent action. The book refuses to let you play the victim. Yes, you may face obstacles. Yes, you may have disadvantages. Yes, life may be unfair. But none of that determines your outcome unless you allow it to. The author addresses fear directly because fear is the greatest enemy of success. Fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of ill health, fear of loss of love, fear of old age, and fear of death. These 6 basic fears paralyze more potential than any external obstacle ever could. The book provides detailed analysis of how each fear manifests and how to overcome it. The antidote to fear is faith and action. When you take action despite fear, you prove to yourself that fear is just an illusion. The thing you feared either doesn't happen, or when it does, you discover you're capable of handling it. One particularly powerful section discusses the destructive power of indecision and doubt. These twins work together to destroy potential. Indecision creates opportunity for doubt to enter. Doubt reinforces indecision. Together, they create a vicious cycle that keeps you stuck. The book urges you to break this cycle by making firm decisions based on your definite purpose and then refusing to entertain doubt. When doubtful thoughts arise, and they will, replace them immediately with faith-filled affirmations. The book also explores the concept of transmutation of desire. This is the process of taking your strongest desires, particularly sexual energy, which the author identifies as the most powerful human drive, and channeling it into creative achievement. Instead of dissipating your energy, through mere physical gratification, you can transmute it into the fuel for extraordinary accomplishment. Many of history's greatest achievers channeled their powerful drives into their work, creating art, businesses, inventions, and movements that change the world. This isn't about suppression or denial, it's about conscious direction of energy. The same force that drives human reproduction, when directed differently, can drive creative production. Think of it as choosing where to invest your life force. You have a finite amount of energy. Will you scatter it across trivial pursuits and momentary pleasures, or will you concentrate it toward your definite purpose? The choice determines whether you live an ordinary life or an extraordinary one. Now let's discuss practical application, because understanding these principles intellectually means nothing if you don't implement them. The book provides a clear action plan. First, write your definite purpose statement. Be specific about what you want, why you want it, when you want it by, and what you're willing to give in exchange. Read this statement aloud twice daily with emotional conviction. Second, create a detailed written plan outlining the specific steps you'll take toward your goal. Update this plan as needed, but don't abandon it at the first obstacle. Third, form or join a mastermind group. Meet regularly, at least weekly if possible. Share your goals, challenges, and progress. Hold each other accountable. Celebrate victories together. Support each other through difficulties. Fourth, commit to daily specialized learning in your chosen field. Read for at least 30 minutes daily. Listen to educational audio programs. Take courses. Attend seminars. Never stop learning. Fifth, practice daily auto-suggestion. Use affirmations, visualization, and meditation to program your subconscious mind. This isn't optional, it's essential. Sixth, take immediate action on your plan every single day. Even if it's just one small step, do something that moves you toward your goal. Consistency compounds. Seventh, develop persistence by refusing to quit when faced with temporary defeat. View obstacles as feedback, not failure. Adjust your approach and try again. The author emphasizes that these aren't suggestions, they're requirements. If you want different results, you must do different things. If you've been unsuccessful so far, it's because you haven't applied these principles consistently. The moment you begin applying them, your circumstances will begin to change. It won't happen overnight. Success is a journey, not an event. But if you persist, if you refuse to quit, if you maintain your faith and continue taking action, success becomes inevitable. One of the most inspiring aspects of this book is its democratizing message. Success isn't reserved for the privileged, the educated, or the naturally talented. Success is available to anyone willing to learn and apply these principles. Your background doesn't matter. Your current circumstances don't matter. What matters is what you do from this moment forward. The past is finished. You can't change it. The future is unwritten. You can create it. The only moment you have any power is right now. The book concludes with a challenge. Will you be one of the rare individuals who actually implements what you've learned? Or will you be like the majority who nod along, feel temporarily inspired, then return to the same patterns that have kept them stuck? The difference between these two groups isn't intelligence or resources, it's decision and action. Decide now that you will apply these principles. Decide that you will persist until you succeed. Decide that nothing will stop you from achieving your definite purpose. Success leaves clues, and this book has decoded those clues into a practical philosophy anyone can apply. The principles work if you work them. They're not magic, their psychology, and discipline combined with consistent action. Every person who has achieved significant success has applied these principles, whether they learned them from this book or discovered them independently. Now you know them. Now you have the blueprint. The only question is, what will you do with it? Remember, your circumstances right now are the result of your past thoughts and actions. If you're not satisfied with where you are, you can change it by changing your thoughts and actions starting today. Plant different seeds and you'll harvest different crops. The law of cause and effect is absolute. Positive causes produce positive effects. Negative causes produce negative effects. You're always choosing through your thoughts and actions which affects your experience. Don't wait for perfect conditions to begin. Perfect conditions never come. Start where you are with what you have. As you take action, opportunities will appear that weren't visible before. Resources will become available that seemed out of reach. People will enter your life to help you. But none of this happens while you're sitting on the sidelines waiting. It happens when you commit and begin moving forward, even if you're scared, even if you're uncertain, even if you don't have all the answers. The world needs what you have to offer. Your unique combination of talents, experiences, and perspectives can solve problems and serve others in ways no one else can. But you must develop those gifts. You must refine them through study and practice. You must have the courage to share them with the world. And you must persist through the inevitable rejections, failures, and setbacks that are simply part of every success story. Think about this. 100 years from now, your life will be over. All the worries, fears, and doubts that seem so important today will be forgotten. The only thing that will matter is what you created, who you helped, and what you contributed. Will you look back with satisfaction, knowing you gave your best effort and achieved your potential? Or will you look back with regret, wondering what might have been if only you'd had more courage? That choice is being made right now through the decisions you make today. This book is not just information, it's transformation if you allow it to be. The principles might seem simple, but simplicity shouldn't be confused with ease. Simple doesn't mean easy, it means clear and direct. These principles are simple to understand, but require discipline to apply. Most people fail not because the principles don't work, but because they don't work the principles. They read, they understand, they agree, but they don't do. Knowledge without action is worthless, so make a commitment right now. Commit to writing your definite purpose today. Commit to reading it twice daily for the next 30 days. Commit to taking at least one action toward your goal every single day. Commit to finding or forming a mastermind group within the next week. Commit to reading in your field for 30 minutes daily. Commit to practicing auto-suggestion and visualization. Commit to developing persistence by never quitting. If you make and keep these commitments, your life will transform. You have everything you need right now to begin. You don't need more time, you need more focus. You don't need more resources, you need more resourcefulness. You don't need better circumstances, you need better decisions. You don't need luck, you need persistence. Everything required for success is within your control. That's both the challenge and the opportunity. You cannot blame anyone else, but you also don't need anyone else's permission to begin. The journey won't always be easy. You'll face doubts, you'll encounter obstacles, you'll experience temporary defeats. But that's true, whether you pursue your goals or not. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, while the pain of regret weighs tons. Choose your pain. Choose the pain of pushing yourself, of learning, of growing, of sometimes failing and trying again. Don't choose the pain of always wondering what you could have accomplished if only you'd tried. Your definite purpose is calling you. That dream you've been nurturing, that goal you've been considering, that vision you've been entertaining, it's not random. You were given that desire because you have the ability to achieve it. The universe doesn't play cruel jokes by giving you dreams without also providing the means to achieve them. But you must act. Dreams don't become reality through wishing. They become reality through work. Inspired, consistent, intelligent work guided by the principles in this book. If you've made it this far in this summary, you're already different from most people. Most people don't invest the time to learn these principles. But learning isn't enough. You must apply. Starting today, starting now, begin implementing what you've learned. Choose one principle and focus on it this week. Master it. Then add another. Build momentum gradually. Don't try to change everything at once. That leads to overwhelm and quitting. Change one thing, make it a habit, then change another. Success is a magnificent obsession, as the author suggests. It consumes your thoughts, drives your actions, and fuels your persistence. When you're truly committed to your definite purpose, you think about it constantly. You dream about it. You talk about it. You make every decision through the filter of whether it moves you toward or away from your goal. This might sound extreme to people who drift through life without clear direction, but it's how every significant achievement is accomplished. Obsession gets a bad reputation, but obsession directed toward a worthy goal is the engine of greatness. Surround yourself with constant reminders of your goal. Write your definite purpose on cards and place them where you'll see them throughout the day. On your mirror, on your dashboard, on your computer. Set reminders on your phone. Create a vision board with images representing your achieved goal. The more you expose your mind to your objective, the more your subconscious accepts it as achievable and begins working to make it reality. This is practical psychology, not wishful thinking. Repetition is the mother of learning, and you're teaching your mind a new reality. Before we conclude, let's address the role of giving. The book emphasizes that the most successful people are those who dedicate themselves to serving others. Success isn't just about what you get, it's about what you give. When you focus on how you can add value, solve problems, and improve lives, success follows naturally. People reward those who serve them well. Build your definite purpose around contribution, not just accumulation. Ask yourself, how will achieving this goal allow me to serve others better? How will it put me in position to make a greater difference? When your success benefits others, you unlock deeper motivation and greater support. The principles in this book have stood the test of time because they're based on natural laws that govern achievement. They worked 100 years ago, they work today, and they'll work 100 years from now. Human psychology doesn't fundamentally change. The methods might evolve, but the principles remain constant. Whatever your goal, whatever your current circumstances, these principles will guide you if you apply them faithfully. Now, here's something important. If you found value in this summary, if these ideas resonated with you, if you feel inspired to take action, please like and subscribe to Audiobook Library. Your support helps this channel grow and allows us to bring you more life-changing content like this. Every like, every subscription, every share helps us reach more people who are searching for the keys to unlock their potential. We're building a community of action takers, of dream chasers, of people who refuse to settle for less than they're capable of becoming. Join us on this journey. Subscribe so you don't miss future summaries of books that can transform your life. Remember, you are exactly one decision away from a completely different life. That decision is to commit fully to your definite purpose and persist until you succeed. Everything else is just details. The principles are clear, the path is laid out. The only question remaining is whether you'll walk it. Will you be someone who knows the way but never goes, or someone who goes the way and ultimately shows others how to follow? The choice is yours. It's always been yours, and it will only ever be yours. No one can make this decision for you. No one can do the work for you, but if you decide, if you commit, if you persist, success is not just possible, it's inevitable. Your definite purpose awaits. Go claim it.